Yeah, in their Interpros, I think they've won, is it 4 out of the 5? They beat us in Thomond Park last year as well, so they'll come down full of confidence. They've won their last 4 games on the trot. And you'd expect that as well with a new coach coming in. There's always going to be a bit of a reaction, and I think they've probably shown that towards Richie Murphy. So they're a team that are in, I suppose, in a good place like ourselves. They're confident. They're it'll take a lot to break them down, but in saying that, I think we're in a good place also. It's very much up in the air. It's very much day by day, week by week. He is improving. Alex is probably too early to call it yet, just being honest with you. And as you alluded to, I suppose having 2 of the boys out, isn't ideal. But in saying that, we have good depth there. We saw it with Rory Scanlon obviously coming on against Edinburgh, had a fine game, I thought, and Sean has played a lot of rugby this year. I know it's been on the wing, but any time he's played in the midfield for us, which is his, I suppose, natural position, he's come out on top as well there, So if, the boys get through, they get through. If they don't, we have the next man up, and we've been kind of used to that a bit this year. And as I said, the 2 lads that are due to come in, if it happens that way, are both in good form at the moment, thankfully. Simon, what a guy! First of all, I was fortunate to work with him in France and Racing as well, and then to come home here, and just a brilliant rugby player, brilliant character, and just sees things on the pitch. He's the highest try scorer in the club, is kind of something that speaks for itself. And he's someone that we'll miss around the place, absolutely. But great memories, and thoroughly enjoyed working with him and coaching him over the last number of years. He's electric, really, really good footwork, very, very quick, elusive, kind of got that X factor ability about him. We would have known him obviously from the URC as well, when he was playing with the Sharks, and then went on to Leon in the top 14 last year. He's a wonderful player. Just in terms of ourselves, I suppose, look, we are in the market for a back 3 player, I should say. As of at the moment, you can't confirm anything, but the news, I'm sure, will be out sooner than later.
Very confident, yeah. Like I said, we have full belief in what we're trying to do, and full belief in the players that we have. And like you said, it's been win-win-win in the URC. Of course, we've had a few bumps along the way in the Heineken Cup, in the Investi Cup, and that obviously that kind of puts a stint in it, and you take your learnings from them, and which we have done. We went down to South Africa after being knocked out of the Investi Champions Cup, and took our learnings from there, and we've built on since then, and we've been playing really, really well, I think, since that Northampton game. So we have full confidence in coming this weekend, and please God, another 3 games after that. Of course, like, we have another year under the belt with the management, and we've definitely built on the systems, and we've kind of adapted to different games, whereas last year we were just instilling the game plan no matter what. So I think we've become more adaptable this year, and it's paid off. You saw down in South Africa with what we did with the bench, with what we did with the starting team and stuff like that. So we've become adaptable, and I think every player that steps on the pitch is very comfortable now, and it's shown. I haven't liked him for the 3 years he's been here. No, he's been brilliant. Some crack, in fairness. Like you said, he's pretty much come in for the last 3 years and taken the complete piss out of me. So it's been great getting to know him. He's been some teammate over the last 3 years, in fairness, and this year I think he's really stepped up, and his performances have been top class. We'll obviously miss him next year around the dressing room, around the pitch, but hopefully we send him off well. Oh, of course, you know what's at stake this weekend if you finish first, and then, like I said earlier, it's game by game and it's knockout rugby then, so you can't really look on until the final, really, but we know what's at stake if we do finish first, so it's definitely that kind of cherry on the top of a win this weekend. Massively so. I think a lot has happened in those 12 months, to be fair. I think we had a full pre-season in Irish camp after that, which I learned an awful lot going into a World Cup, and then you have the 8 weeks over at the World Cup, which you definitely become a better player over there. You take your learnings from obviously that New Zealand game. Obviously I didn't play, but you still take your learnings from what you were trying to do and the players that were playing, and you kind of watch back, and then you get consistent game time coming back to Munster, and you kind of drive on into a Six Nations, and then coming back from the Six Nations as after another medal, you obviously learn an awful lot from being in a winning environment and those coaches again, and then it's been back to back after that. So, like I said, I've played an awful lot this season. It's probably the most I've ever played, especially in the 9 jersey, and I think you learn from those. I've turned 25 as well, so I'm obviously not at the younger scale anymore. So I've learned an awful lot about my game and where I need to put focus on and when I need to pull back and stuff like that as well. So I think that's been a good part. Yeah, Interpros are always big, and like I said earlier, we had those week offs to touch on those things, and we realised we hadn't got a win in an Interpro, and that's not good enough for a Munster team. And we've said that to each other. Whatever way it fell, we weren't good enough in those games to win. So we had a hard look at that. We wanted to drive on in Thomond Park. Again, like I said, we haven't been good at Thomond Park either. So it's kind of weird. We're sitting top of the table, but we haven't been always happy with where we've been going. So those week offs have given us those opportunities to look hard at ourselves. And like you said, it's a very important game coming this weekend. I know Ulster can win the Irish Shield if they win it as well, so they have high motivation. So another Interpro to put our stamp on and hopefully get a win at the end of it.